The quiet of my mind is where the story truly lives, a constant echo of choices made and paths not taken. My journey began with Emily, a love so pure, so deeply ingrained in my very being. It felt like destiny, like the air I breathed. We grew up together, our hands entwined through childhood dreams and teenage ambitions. Our laughter filled every corner of our shared world. Our future was a tapestry woven with threads of unwavering commitment and unspoken promises. Everyone said we were perfect, a model of enduring affection, a benchmark for true love, and for a long time we were, or so I believed, or so I told myself. Then something shifted. It was not a sudden seismic event, but a slow, subtle erosion, like water carving away at stone imperceptibly. Day by day, the colors of our life together began to fade. The vibrant hues of our early passion settled into comfortable neutrals. A routine perhaps a bit too comfortable, a bit too predictable. The spark that once ignited a wildfire in my heart became a gentle flicker, almost imperceptible against the backdrop of our everyday existence. I stopped seeing Emily, truly seeing her, the way I once did. Her quirks, her joys, her subtle anxieties became background noise. Not the symphony I once cherished. I started looking for excitement elsewhere. A dangerous seed planted itself in the fertile ground of my growing discontent. A desire for something new, something to shake me awake from what felt like a pleasant but ultimately unfulfilling dream. That something new arrived in the form of Chloe. She was a colleague at work, bright, vivacious, full of an energy that felt like a jolt to my system. A stark contrast to the quiet predictability I had come to associate with my life at home. Chloe listened with an intensity that flattered me. She laughed at my jokes with genuine amusement. She saw a part of me that I felt had been dormant for too long, a part that craved validation and novelty. Our conversations lingered longer than they should have. Our coffee breaks extended into stolen moments. Our professional interactions blurred into something undeniably personal. It started innocently enough, or at least that is what I rationalized it as, a harmless friendship, a pleasant diversion from the monotony. But I knew even then deep down I was treading a dangerous line. A boundary was being approached and then breached. The first kiss was a maelstrom of conflicting emotions. Guilt, shame, exhilaration, fear. It was wrong, terribly wrong, yet in that moment it felt thrilling. Alive, a forbidden fruit that tasted intensely sweet. A momentary escape from the weight of my own existence. With Emily, I told myself it was just one mistake, a lapse in judgment, a fleeting moment of weakness. But one mistake quickly begot another and another. The lies began to pile up, a precarious tower of deceit. I became a master of alibis, of late nights at the office, of forgotten phone calls. My life became a carefully constructed performance, a dual existence where I was one person with Emily and an entirely different person with Chloe. The guilt was a constant companion, a heavy cloak that I wore beneath my forced smiles and feigned affection. I would look at Emily, her unsuspecting eyes full of trust and love, and a pang of self-loathing would twist in my gut. I saw the truth reflected in her gaze, a truth I was actively destroying. I tried to justify my actions. I told myself Emily and I had drifted apart, that we were just going through the motions, that Chloe offered something Emily no longer could. But these were hollow excuses, desperate attempts to silence the screaming voice of my conscience. I knew what I was doing was an act of profound betrayal, a demolition of everything we had built together. The affair itself was not a fairy tale. It was fraught with anxiety, with the constant fear of discovery, with the emotional toll of living a lie. There were moments of intense joy with Chloe, a feeling of being truly seen, truly desired. But these moments were always overshadowed by the looming shadow of my deception, the stolen glances, the whispered words, the clandestine meetings. They were all tinged with the bitterness of deceit. I was not happy. I was just distracted. I was not fulfilled. I was merely postponing the inevitable reckoning. The reckoning came as it always does. It was not dramatic fireworks or a sudden revelation. It was a quiet knowing, a gradual dawning of the truth for Emily. I think she sensed it before she had proof: a change in my demeanor, a subtle shift in my affection, a coldness in my eyes that I could no longer hide. She found messages, a stray receipt, a tiny detail that unraveled the entire elaborate tapestry of my lies. The moment of discovery was brutal, a raw wound inflicted not by a physical blow, but by the shattering of trust. Her eyes, when she confronted me, held not anger, but a deep, profound sorrow, a pain so intense it mirrored the destruction I had wrought within myself. Her voice was quiet, but each word was a hammer blow against my fragile defenses. I confessed everything, or at least I tried to explain the inexplicable, the whys and hows of my utter failure. I saw the light leave her eyes. The dreams we had shared crumble into dust. The future we had envisioned together dissipate into thin air. The silence that followed my confession was deafening, heavier than any argument, any shouted word. It was the sound of a world ending, the world I had so carelessly destroyed. She packed her bags not with rage, but with a quiet dignity that only amplified my shame. She did not scream, she did not curse. She just moved with a heartbreaking resolve. Her leaving was not a theatrical exit, but a slow, painful severing of a bond I had once believed unbreakable. In the aftermath, I was left with nothing but the ruins of my own making. Chloe eventually drifted away, the fleeting excitement of the forbidden unable to sustain itself in the harsh light of reality. I lost Emily, my anchor, my home, my truest companion. The silence in our once vibrant house was a constant reminder of my betrayal of the void I had created by my own hand. I spent countless nights replaying every moment, every decision, every lie, searching for the turning point, the moment I could have chosen differently, the moment I could have stopped myself. But there was no single moment. It was a series of small choices, a gradual erosion of my own integrity. The pain was immense, a dull ache that never truly subsided. It was not just the pain of losing Emily, but the pain of losing myself, the person I thought I was, a loyal, loving partner, the person I aspired to be. I saw the ripple effects of my actions not just in Emily, but in our shared friends, in our families, in the way people looked at me with a mixture of pity and contempt. I was the one who broke the perfect couple, the one who threw away something precious for something fleeting and ultimately meaningless. Time has passed, but the lessons remain etched into my soul, a brutal, indelible mark. I learned that trust once broken is incredibly difficult to mend, perhaps impossible. That true love is not about grand gestures, but about consistent effort, about valuing and cherishing the person beside you every single day. Even when the excitement fades and routine sets in, I learned that boredom is not an excuse for betrayal, and that true happiness cannot be built on a foundation of lies and deceit. I carry the weight of my past with me, a constant reminder of the harm I inflicted, the love I squandered. I often wonder about Emily. I hope she found happiness, peace, a love that respects her unwavering loyalty. I hope she is living the life she deserves, a life unburdened by my mistakes. I wish I could turn back time, whisper words of warning to my past self, to tell him to appreciate what he had to fight for, to never take it for granted. But time only moves forward, and all I can do now is live with the consequences and strive to be a better person, a more honest person, a person who understands the true cost of a broken promise, the devastating power of betrayal. My story is a cautionary tale, a testament to the fragile nature of trust and the enduring pain of regret, a constant echo in the quiet of my mind, a story that will always live there, a reminder of who I was and who I desperately try to be today.